The Magical Shoemaker and the Lost Village. Once upon a time, in the heart of a quiet forest, there was a small, forgotten village called Willow Hollow. At the center of the village stood a tiny cobbler's shop run by an old shoemaker named Mr. Felix Tinker. Mr. Tinker wasn't just any shoemaker, his shoes were said to be magical. It was believed that each pair he crafted carried a special enchantment. Mr. Tinker lived alone in his cozy workshop. His walls were lined with shelves full of colorful leather, spools of golden thread, and tiny glass jars filled with shimmering dust. No one knew exactly how he made his shoes magical, but whenever someone walked in wearing one of his creations, their lives seemed to change for the better. One chilly autumn evening, as Mr. Tinker worked by the light of a flickering lantern, a soft knock came at his door. He opened it to find a young girl with tangled hair and tear-filled eyes. Her name was Lila, and she looked like she had been wandering the woods for days. "Please, sir," Lila whispered, shivering in her thin shoes. "I've lost my family and my way home. Can you help me?" Mr. Tinker knelt down to her level, his kind eyes sparkling behind his round spectacles. "Come in, child. We'll figure something out." As Lila warmed herself by the fire, she told him about her village, which had vanished under a mysterious fog. "One day, everything was normal," she said, "but then the fog rolled in, and when it cleared, our homes were gone. My family disappeared, too." Mr. Tinker listened carefully, stroking his beard. A disappearing village. That sounds like magic, powerful magic. Perhaps a special pair of shoes could help us find it. The next morning, Mr. Tinker set to work crafting a pair of shoes just for Lila. He chose soft, sturdy leather and stitched tiny golden stars onto the toes. As he worked, he hummed a tune that seemed to make the air shimmer. Finally, he sprinkled a pinch of his shimmering dust over the shoes. "These are wanderers' shoes," Mr. Tinker explained, handing them to Lila. "They will guide you wherever you need to go, no matter how far or hidden the path." Lila slipped the shoes onto her feet, and felt a gentle warmth spread through her. When she stepped outside, the shoes seemed to tug her in a specific direction. "They are pulling me toward the forest," she exclaimed. "I'll come with you," said Mr. Tinker, grabbing his walking stick. The two of them followed the shoes' guidance deep into the forest, where the trees grew taller and the air grew colder. Along the way, they encountered challenges: a rushing river with no bridge, a steep cliff covered in thorny vines, and a dark cave full of glowing eyes. But each time, the wanderers' shoes found a way forward, leaping across stones, finding hidden paths, or glowing brightly to scare away the cave's creatures. Finally, after what felt like hours, they reached a clearing. A strange fog hung in the air, swirling and shimmering. Lila's shoes stopped moving, and Mr. Tinker tapped the ground with his stick. "This must be the place," he said. "But how do we bring the village back?" Lila stepped forward. Maybe I just need to call for them." She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and shouted, "Mama! Papa! It's me, Lila. I found you." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the fog began to swirl faster, forming shapes and shadows. Slowly, buildings appeared, rooftops, chimneys, windows glowing with light. The village of Willow Hollow reappeared, and with it, Lila's family and neighbours. Mr. Tinker smiled as he watched Lila run into her mother's arms. The villagers cheered, thanking both Lila and the shoemaker for their bravery. From that day on, Mr. Tinker became a hero in Willow Hollow. He taught Lila some of his shoemaking secrets, and together they made shoes that helped others find their way, whether it was back home, toward a new adventure, or even to a friend they hadn't met yet. And so, the magical shoemaker and his apprentice lived happily, helping those in need, one pair of enchanted shoes at a time. The end.